we write function keyword, then we give a space, then we write the function name. I say here wish hi. You can see that I am following a camel case naming convention, and pair of parentheses, then opening flower bracket, closing flower bracket. Here I say document dot write, it should say hi, and move the cursor to the next line, semicolon. When I say file, save, go to browser and refresh, see that we are not getting any hi displayed. The reason is the functions are not going to get executed by themselves. That's what I told here. Functions get executed only when we call them. We should call the function for execution. And how do we call the function? This is a basic syntax. We write the function name and then pair of parentheses. In between we pass the parameters or arguments if that function needs any information. Then at the end semicolon. This is called as function call. Function call statement. Example is wish hi, that is the name of the function we have written, and pair of parentheses because this function is not asking any information, and at the end semicolon. So I go back here and I call the function wish hi. I say wish hi bracket bracket semicolon. Now we are calling the wish hi function. Now the wish hi function body is going to get executed. We see hi displayed once. I say file, save, go to browser and refresh. You see hi is displayed. Now why functions? We are going to understand why do we need functions. Functions are created for different reasons. First is to divide a larger problem into smaller tasks or modules. We can divide a larger problem into small tasks and combine all those tasks together to solve a larger problem, which is actually called as modularization, modularizing a problem, which help us to manage the code easily. So manageability will come in the code. Next thing is for reusability. That means once a function is defined, it can be used multiple times. That means once you define a function, once you create a function, you just need to call that function again and again to perform that task repeatedly. That means I can call this wish hi function again and again. I can copy that, paste down, paste down. Now what happens? We will see hi displayed 3 times. That means the wish hi function we are calling, the control executes this body, displays hi. Again we are calling wish hi, control execute this body, displays hi. Again we are calling wish hi, control execute this body, displays hi. So we should see 3 times hi displayed. I say file, save, go to browser and refresh. See hi is displayed 3 times. You can call that function again and again to perform the same task repeatedly. So reusability is implemented. And the next purpose is for abstraction purpose. Abstraction means hiding the way how tasks are done. We need to hide the way how tasks are done. The user need to focus only on how to perform the task. He need not to worry about how tasks are done. Understanding? That is for creating libraries. If you want to create some libraries, reusable libraries that the developers or designers can use, we can perform with the help of functions. We can create libraries. Let me go back and I'm going to copy this code from here. Okay, I just put enters and I'm going to copy this code. Go to MS Paint and explain how that code is working or how that code is going to be executed by the browsers. So I pasted the code here. I'm going to change the color to black. Now try to understand this. When the control comes here, it will create a function named wish hi without any parameters. Whenever anybody calls a wish hi function, the browser need to execute this body. It remembers that. That's what it does. It will not execute the code inside the wish hi body. Okay. Then when the control comes here, you are calling a function called as wish hi. Now what browser does? It just jumps from here. The control is transferred to the wish hi function, and then the body will be executed. So here the document.write is going to be executed. It displays the hi on the screen once, and as there is a break tag, the cursor will be moved to the next line. After executing the body or all the statements inside the body, control comes back to the same place where you called the wish high function, and then it moves to the next statement. Again you are calling wish high. What happens here? The control is transferred to the wish high function and the body will be executed. The document.write displays one more time high. I'm going to copy that, paste, displays high and moves the cursor to the next line. After executing the body, control comes back to the same place, moves to the next statement for execution. Again we are calling the wish high function. What happens here? The control will be transferred to the function which has the name wish high without parameters and execute the body of that function. So document.write displays once again high on the screen and moves the cursor to the next line. After executing the body, the control comes back where we call the wish high function. If any statements are there down, it will execute those statements. This is how the control will be transferred. That is the reason the function call statement is called as control transfer statement or jumping statement. It transfers the control or jumps the control from one place to another place. I hope you guys have clearly understood. Now let me trace and explain. Let me save this first. File, save, go to browser and refresh. I go to options, more tools, developer tools. You can see we have the source code here. I put a breakpoint on line number 15 and I say refresh to pause the execution on line number 15. Now I'm not going to use step over. Step over will execute the code and moves to the next statement. I don't want to do that. I want to step into the function. So I use step into button. If I click step into button, see that it has moved inside the wish high function. And I say step into, you see document.write has displayed high. Again I say step into, it goes to the wish high function. See that? The control is transferred there, came back and it is executing now next statement. Now I say step into, again it goes to the wish high, step into, document.write displays high, comes back, goes to the next statement. Again we are calling the wish high. The control is transferred to the wish high function, document.write displays high, control comes back and moves to the next statement. That's how the control is transferred. That's how the functions are defined and functions are called, and whenever you call a function, the body of that function is executed. I hope you guys have clearly understood what is a function and how do we define a function using function declaration, how do we call a function, and what are the reasons for creating functions. I think for this video tutorial this much is enough, friends. In the next video tutorial we get